So I got a pretty cool mod I'll be doing to the 8.6, the old steering rack spacers. So we get comes with a spacer lock and a ring. I believe the ring's meant to be like 6mm thick, and then however big that is. So what that allows you to do is, well, you first put this one on the passenger side, and then the ring slides on the driver's side. And what it actually allows it to do is it allows the rack to actually slide in and out further than it would normally. So there seems to be enough teeth on the actual rack for it to slide that much further. But by doing that, you bring this point out further every time you steer, so you actually get more lock. So without changing any of the knuckles or lower arms, just by doing these, you get instantly a bit more lock. I have no idea if it's going to foul on anything. I don't know about these inside guards or what. I thought I'd just whack them in and see what it does. I did notice at the drift day that I did, wasn't doing a whole lot of drifting, I was using a whole lot of lock, but I did notice once that when I did spin around, it was sort of like I was hardly giving it much, and it sort of, I don't know, spun around quite easily. So I'm sort of hoping this allows it to actually hold lock a bit nicer, and if I do get into that situation that I do need extra lock, that it's there. The other option is to change the knuckles, get power steering knuckles, which is quite a common thing on the 86. So it's a manual rack that I've got, and manual knuckles, but the power steering knuckles are actually a little bit shorter, which gives you actually more angle as well, the way that it pulls it in and out. But yeah, they're very hard to come by, because everyone did it back in the day, and everyone still does it today. So Night Parts are actually looking at making their own that are going to be crack tested and bump steer tested and all that sort of carry on, so they're all certifiable. So we'll see when they come out if they're a go-to to get more lock again, but I think this for now should be fine. So yeah, my plan is to take the boot off and probably need to undo the hair, which then allows me to wind it out, then take the inner tie rod off and whack on the spacer, put some thread locker on the thread, and tighten it up really well. I've heard people saying that they come loose. The guy that got this off hasn't had any issues with them, but some people, I suppose, if you don't tighten them properly, they do come loose. So make sure it's all tight, and then put all that back on. I'll probably need a wheel alignment again, but I'll try and measure what's going on and make sure that's all the same. So I don't know, measure it and pull it back and see what happens. Should be interesting actually, just looking at that. We shall see. So I got the first bit on, spacer, as you can see there. Now the spacer in there. So yeah, Loctited both ends. Normally they have a washer type thing that locks onto the rack, but of course you can't use that because there's no locatey bits on the spacer. So Loctite is your friend, and lots of pressure, which is why there's all sorts of long arm bars to try and get it as tight as possible, which I believe I've got. So now I can put the boot back on, leave all the adjusters loose because it's going to be way out, and go do the other side, do the ring on the other side, and then try center it all, which will be interesting. Got the slip-on spacer on the side done. All it is just a ring that goes on, basically takes the place of the standard stopper bracket thing. Just allows a little bit more movement that way, but the majority of the extension is actually from the left hand side one. So now I have to work out how to center it all. Because if I put the wheel straight on this side, relatively straight, this side is still way out, so I need to adjust it in here, but yeah, pull both of them in so they center. Should be interesting. So simple install, turned out to be a little bit harder. I put it all on, it all sat fine, heaps of lock, but the toe was all out and I couldn't adjust these anymore to get more toe out. It was, yeah, the issue was there's too much toe in, and they were fully adjusted in. So they're like a sleeve that slides on this thread and this nut backs onto it, so it was hard up against that nut with no adjustment. So what I ended up doing was just chopping a little bit off the end. These clamps sit on there, they sit right basically on the end as well, but there was still enough room to chop a piece off. So I'll do that to both sides, and that should give me then enough wriggle room to gain a bit of toe out. But apart from that, just another day in the shed. Second side done. All cut, bit of paint on the end, put it back in. Yeah, see how that goes. That should give me fully toe adjustment to then muck around with the toe a bit and get that good. If anyone out there does actually have power steering knuckles that they want to get rid of, I am looking for some. Seem to be a struggle to find here in New Zealand. Maybe someone's got some stashed away, but yeah, if anyone has any, let me know. Power steering knuckles, good to go. Well, it's all on. There's a massive angle. It's not that massive compared to drift cars, but it's definitely better than what it was. Yeah, from what I can see, there's nothing really hitting or anything, so should do the trick. Did a rough sort of by eye adjustment to the toe and everything, and centered up steering wheel. But I'll drive it and see. It's probably quite a bit out. When they get a wheel on it, tyres are pretty shot anyway. And the edge is all worn out, so they can go on the back and be turned into smoke along with the ones that are on the back, and then we can buy some new ones. So yeah, thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoy. Trying to do a few more sort of little videos like this. It's hard when there's nothing actually to do on the car, but got a few bits coming, so it works out good.